Mitsu, the wife, is talking to her father Sasaki, who sent the family a box of fresh vegetables and fish. He hopes they would come to visit him more often. When Mitsu tries to make her daughter Yui talk to her grandfather, she refuses to do so and complains about the fish smell. Mitsu attempts to cook the fish after the call, but she can't stand it. Her husband Yoshiyuki doesn't want to come near it either, so the fish goes to the freezer. When they see a bug on the vegetables, they freak out so much that they don't notice that it's actually Yui's fake eyelashes. Yoshiyuki doesn't listen to a word she says and keeps asking for food, while Yui only has eyes for her phone. So, it's up to Mitsu to throw the bug away. Later, the son Kenji shows up, but doesn't say hello to anyone. He doesn't take his headphones off, and when Mitsu asks him if he wants dinner, he just shows her the fast food he bought and goes to his room without saying a single word. In their rooms, the siblings only spend time on their screens. Mitsu is concerned about the smartphone bills and wants Yoshiyuki to discuss it with his children, but only listens to the television. The next day, Yoshiyuki wakes up late, as his alarm clock didn't go off. He checks it and finds that the hands are at 3 o'clock. As he is disposing of the fish, Mitsu tells him that there's a blackout. Soon, Yui wakes up as well, and gets freaked out because her phone is dead. Mitsu wants to make breakfast, but can't because the rice cooker and the electromagnetic stove aren't working. She is able to switch on a gas burner. The family, however, is not willing to wait and they leave without eating. Unfortunately, the elevator isn't working either, so all the residents have to go down several flights of stairs. The trains are also not operating at the station, and it is unclear when they will be back. So, Yoshiyuki has to walk to the office. Meanwhile, Kenji is going to class on his bicycle and notices that his phone has quickly run out of battery. In fact, the only thing moving on the streets is bicycles because cars have stopped working as well. A taxi driver tries to restart his engine with some water to no avail. Mitsu speaks to the neighbors outside her building and they all say they don't have power. The ladies decide to go shopping for candles, and Mitsu wants to go with them, but she has left her wallet in the apartment. Upon reaching his company, everyone is outside since the entrance doors have electric locks that cannot be opened. Two men decide to break the glass so everyone can come in. Employees have to take the stairs to their offices, but they realize they can't work because there are no lights and no computers. Yui finds that all her classmates are coming late to school and no one has a working phone at school. There are some teachers who are unable to attend school and many classes are directed to the study hall. Kenji is in the same predicament at college, and at the grocery store, Mitsu finds that the shelves of pre-made food are already empty. People are buying things like candles and water in great quantities, so she does the same. The store staffers say they can't accept credit cards due to the blackout, and clients must pay cash. All people go to the closest ATM. However, these aren't working either. After waiting for a few hours and doing nothing, Yoshiyuki's boss sends everyone home early. Refusing to walk again, Yoshiyuki decides to buy a bicycle. Unfortunately, prices have risen to the extreme, since everyone is in need of one, so Yoshiyuki must pay more. On his way to his building, he sees an old lady who is resting on the stairs as it is too much for her to climb. Later, when the family is having dinner by candlelight, Yoshiyuki insists on using pen and paper. Anytime they use the toilet, they have to flush it by throwing water from the bathtub. There's no water in the kitchen sink, so Mitsu can't do the dishes. Meanwhile, Yui attempts to read a magazine by candlelight and nearly touches the flame, burning her hair. Tired of doing nothing in their rooms, the siblings come out and Mitsu invites the whole family to the balcony. Since there isn't a single city light, there's a wonderful view of the stars. Power has yet to return 2 days later. Mitsu is washing clothes in the tub. Yui only has a few friends at school, so she decides to leave. At the office, the boss announces that the company will be closed until power is restored. Then Yoshiyuki sees his boss go away with his family to the mountains, where he hopes to find water and food. When he turns around, he discovers a guy trying to steal his bicycle and quickly scares him away. Meanwhile, Kenji pedals his bike to the next town, but finds that power is down here as well. He's looking for the girl he likes, but when he sees her come out, he panics and hides. His bike crashes and injures his foot while he's watching the girl as she rides off with her family. Mitsu and other neighbors wait for hours at the water treatment plant to fill their bottles. However, the employees inform them that they've shut down the building because the pumps aren't working. They don't collect water by hand because there is water underground, but it is not treated and can be harmful to drink. The people are angry because they are not getting any assistance. Yashiki goes to the bank and hears the bankers say that ATMs and debit cards are not working. So, the only way to get cash is by presenting an ID and a bank passbook. Each person is only allowed to withdraw the equivalent equivalent of $600. Individuals get panicky and begin shoving one another to be the first to get in. They cause Yashiki to drop all his paperwork, and when he tries to pick it up, they end up hurting him. He has to escape to take care of his bleeding nose. Grocery stores are empty and schools are closed on the 7th day of the blackout. Some have gone to other towns for food and water and found the same situation. By the hour, more and more citizens are moving out of Tokyo in search of a solution in the countryside. After a pointless meeting with their neighbors, Yashiki and Mitsu check on an old lady in their building whom they haven't seen in a while. It turns out she's died and her family has come to retrieve the body. After this shock, the couple decides it's time to leave the city, so they tell the children that they will go and stay at their grandfather's house. When Yui complains that little villages are boring, reminds her that when she was a kid she liked playing on the village's beach, but Yui doesn't remember this. Then the family begins packing and a frustrated Kenji tosses the picture of the girl he likes into the trash. Everyone puts what little money they can on the table and Mitsu tells everyone that she has a good amount of cash that she has been saving for emergencies. On their way out, the family hears the barking of an abandoned dog, but they ignore it. The siblings have bicycles, but Mitsu has to share with Yashiki. They begin to head towards the airport and see many of the residents walking away. There are also many people selling food and water, but Yashiki refuses to pay for their crazy prices. Unfortunately, the further they go, the higher the prices are. After a while, they come to a store, and Mitsu is able to reach an agreement with a clerk for a large order at a good price. It's a good time for them to rest and feed. The siblings see a man catching a lot of fish from the river, but they are disgusted. The toilets are not flushed for days, and when they try to go to the public bathroom, the smell is unbearable. They have no choice but to do it behind the bushes. When the family finally makes it to the airport, there's a desperate crowd gathering outside. The planes are not functioning either, and cops attempt to erect a barrier to keep people away. One half of the populace becomes enraged and attacks the officers, the other half walks away. In the evening, the family decides to stay at the closest motel and has to pay too much for the room. Yashiki says they're going to ride their bikes to the village, and Yui takes a few minutes to gripe about it. The next morning, the siblings break into a library to get a map, but all of them are gone except for one for kids. Kenji does some calculations and concludes it'll take them a month to reach the village by bicycle. In the meantime, Yashiki and Mitsu are searching for a bike for her and they come across one outside a rice shop. The clerk is not accepting cash or valuable items. She only exchanges rice for water or other food. The couple persuades her to give them the bicycle and a bag of rice for some bottles of alcohol. The family finally decides to take the expressway because no one is asking for money at the booths. Then Yashiki realizes that the kitty map is useless. In the highway, they find hundreds of people leaving the city. Later, they rest at a mall, but the doors are closed, so they camp outside the mall. When the desperate couple asks them if they have water to share, Mitsu hides their bottles and Yashiki tells them that they don't have any left. The family can't sleep that night as it is very cold. Kenji finds out that someone is stealing their water and he immediately runs after them and follows him into a tunnel. When he's about to attack, he notices that the robber has a baby, so he lets him have the water. The next day, the family gets ready to cross that tunnel and finds a group of blind ladies at the entrance. They offer to guide people if they're paid properly. The tunnel is just a straight road, so the family doesn't pay attention to them and keeps going. However, the darkness soon gets them in trouble. They continue to run into abandoned cars and step on all sorts of nasty things, such as a dead raccoon. They end up going back and paying a blind lady who easily guides them through the tunnel until they reach the exit. The family rests by the river on the 16th day of the blackout and washes some clothes. They're almost out of matches and there's no water left. Yashiki decides to drink from the river, ignoring his family's warnings. In the afternoon, a big rainstorm comes down over the area, and the family has to hide under a bridge. While they watch their bicycles and things being blown by the wind, Yashiki suddenly runs to the middle of the field. He has diarrhea due to the water from the river. After the storm has passed, the family begins to gather their belongings, which are scattered everywhere. Mitsu's glasses are cracked, the rice is dirty on the ground, and a bicycle tire has been destroyed. Yashiki is still feeling sick, so the family rushes to the nearest town. Unfortunately, there is no food, matches, or tires left for the siblings to break into in a supermarket while the parents are resting. They only pick up a flare, cat food, and battery liquid, which is purified water, and thus edible. When they return to camp, Yui tries the cat food and spits it because it's disgusting. Kenji has no choice but to use his silicone phone case to fix his bicycle tire. As days continue to pass, the family gets used to dealing with the rain and eating cat food. When they rest again, they meet the Saito family, who appear to be doing okay. They frequently rode through the mountains and camped out a great deal, and they know a lot of survival skills. There's water seeping through rocks with moss and air drying food to make it last longer. They also point out which weeds are edible and even recommend eating cicadas. One of the boys has an old mechanical camera that still works, so he takes a picture of them. Yui provides him with an address to send a copy later. Then the families agree to keep going on the journey together. Mitsu and the kids get along with the Saitos and are very grateful for their advice, but Yashiki is green with envy and rides very fast as if trying to show off. When they stop at a bridge to rest, they see a group of soldiers walking by. A man explains that they are from a nuclear power plant, but it wasn't working either. Now they're going to the next prefecture to check on a different plant. The families then agree to split up as the Suzukis are heading to Osaka to see if the rumors of power there are true. On day 43, the family discovers that Osaka doesn't have power either. Yui freaks out since they don't have food or water, and an argument ensues. It ends with the family agreeing that Yoshiyuki isn't a responsible caretaker. While looking around the city, they're shocked to find lots of people eating fish outside an aquarium. The employees are handing out all the aquarium animals to be used as food, so the family has to rush to get in line. Unfortunately, when they reach the front, there is no food available. After day 67, they are all tired and fall in the middle of the countryside. A desperate Yoshiyuki grabs a bug, but before he can eat it, he sees a pig nearby. The family takes turns to surround it, and after much effort, Yoshiyuki manages to kill the pig as they roll down the hill. But he and Mitsu don't want to do it, so Kenji has the knife. He is brought to a halt by Farmer Tanaka, who cuts off the pig's neck with no hesitation. The family then takes the dead pig to Tanaka's house where they can drink water from a well. All of Tanaka's pigs ran away because his electric fence stopped working. If he catches them all again with the family's help, he'll share his food. They agree, and Tanaka serves them a very nice breakfast, including smoked pork. It's so yummy that Yui cries. A neighbor visits the family with some vegetables, and Tanaka makes the family help him slaughter the pig. They're rather disgusted, but they get through it for survival. This typically takes Tanaka a long time, but with all this assistance, it is going much quicker. Meat is cut into pieces and salted for preservation. When it's time for a bath, they have to fill the tub with buckets from the well and start a fire with wood to heat the water. That night, Tanaka lends them pajamas that he bought for when his son's family visits. Those relatives are living in the USA now, and he doesn't have a way to contact them. Yoshiyuki and Mitsu know how fortunate they are to have their children with them and to sleep with their hands held. The family work and learn a lot about farm life for the next few days. They go after all the pigs and really enjoy bringing them back to the farm. Yui learns how to sew from Mitsu, who is in charge of washing clothes. Yoshiyuki cuts wood, and Kenji has more tools to repair his bike. Since they are very helpful, and he doesn't like being alone, Tanaka requests the family to come live with him. However, the Suzukis would rather be with their grandfather. As thanks, Tanaka gives them enough smoked pork for the rest of their trip. A few days later, the family makes it to the river and is devastated to discover that there is no bridge. Yoshiyuki discovers an oar, some rope, and wood along the shore, so they help each other to make a raft. The guys then bring the women and their belongings across to the other side and then return to retrieve their bikes. Then all of a sudden, it begins to rain, and they must hurry. Yoshiyuki and Kenji pedal as quickly as they can, but the raft breaks apart when the bikes get on it. Kenji gives up and soon swims back to join the others, but Yoshiyuki refuses to let go of the wood, and eventually, the bicycles push him under. His family shrieks in terror as they watch him being dragged away. After the rain stops, Kenji goes looking for his father, but only finds his toupee. All at once they all start to cry. On day 94, the group is following the train tracks. Kenji pulls Mitsu to get her to walk, but she is too depressed to do it. As they take some pork out of their bags to eat, a dog approaches them and whines for food. Yui wants to feed the poor thing, but Kenji scolds her. The dog takes the pork away from Yui's hand and runs away. Soon, more and more dogs appear, and a Doberman jumps and starts to bite Mitsu's bag in its mouth. She attempts to pull it back, but it is a struggle and she falls and rolls down the hill. The children rush to help her and find out she has a broken ankle. They assist her in walking after she sees the dogs eating all of her bag. They are unable to leave and walk slowly due to Mitsu's condition. The dogs quickly come back for more, so the family holds each other and waits for the worst. Suddenly, a steam train comes along the tracks, and the dogs run away. The train stops right in front of the family, who immediately come aboard for the rest of their journey. There are plenty of water bottles to share, and lots of people from Tokyo who are also moving to the countryside. Mitsu's ankle is bandaged by a doctor, and he asks about their father, making the kids cry. Meanwhile, on the riverbank, Yoshiyuki wakes up and begins walking, but he's too weak to go far, and collapses against a tractor. Just in time, he He sees the train go by, but he doesn't have the energy to shout. Luckily, he has the flare in his pocket and is able to light it up just in time. Mitsu sees him and immediately makes the train stop so the kids can run to reunite with their father. Later on the train, Mitsu gives Yoshiyuki his toupee, but he throws it away. The train passes through a tunnel, and the smoke from the engine comes into the cars through the windows, and everyone coughs. It also turns their faces black and makes them laugh. Finally, on day 108, the family arrives in the village and meets Sasaki, who is amazed that he is being visited at last. The Suzukis are now happy in their new farm life. 2 years and 126 days later, they fish, plant and eat the vegetables they have planted. Yoshiyuki wakes up one morning to a strange noise. He walks away from the house to follow it and finds an alarm clock ticking in a storage house. All at once, the speakers of the village begin to play music, and everyone in the neighborhood appears on the street and gazes at the street lights again. All the original Tokyo residents return to the city a few days later. Experts have many ideas on what caused the blackout on TV: a solar flare, a comet that came too close to Earth, and even cyber terrorism. The Suzukis now spend more time with each other and aren't afraid of chores. They put an old-fashioned landline phone in their house, and Yoshiyuki continues to ride his bike to work. They are happy to receive a letter from the mailman, which contains the picture the Saito boy took of them on the road. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.